Sleeping seems so natural, yet many people have sleeping problems. We don't sleep well and we don't sleep enough. There are some differences between countries, but in the general population, lack of sleep has a prevalence rate between 20% and almost 42%. Whether it's insomnia, restless leg syndrome, or sleep apnea, the number of people who sleep poorly is increasing. While sleep is crucial for our mental and physical health. In today's video, I will discuss some causes of sleeping problems, risks of sleep deprivation, and risks of sleep medication. And finally, I will also give you some tips to improve your sleep quality. I'm a healthcare psychologist and therapist, and I make videos on psychology and mental health topics. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new content I publish every week. Internal clock in our brain regulates the change between sleeping and being awake. The sleep hormone melatonin is produced in a part of your brain called the hypothalamus. As the concentration of melatonin rises, we become less alert and our brain prepares for sleep. If the concentration drops, we become awake. But the light is the main factor that regulates our biological clock and the release of melatonin. In addition, other factors also play a role in the process of a good night's sleep. We can better understand our current sleeping problems if we look at the past of humans. Our distant ancestors live in East Africa near the equator, with barely fluctuating temperatures during the year. Days and nights were always the same length. But everything has changed with evolution. People left East Africa and they went to live in areas far away from the equator. In these areas, there was more difference between day and night. Even more drastic was the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, which brought artificial lights such as street lighting, neon signs, and artificial light indoors. Then came the computers, tablets, and smartphones. Today, we are exposed for hours to the light of various screens. Cities got bigger, and we are also exposed to more stimuli, more noises. We meet more people. All this creates more stress, even if these stimuli are enjoyable. Scientific studies show that there is a link between anxiety disorders and the size of a city. But our sleep also suffers from all these factors. In the Netherlands, where I live, people sleep on average 7.5 hours a night. While in Japan and South Korea, the average sleep duration is barely 6.5 hours. Just an example. And what about the quality of sleep? Studies show that the degree of illumination of a place is related to the quality of sleep. Today we have no place on our planet that is not illuminated. Even in the middle of the ocean, there is always some light hitting the retina. This negatively affects the production of melatonin, and this disrupts our sleep. In addition, our exposure to noise increases, which in turn undermines our sleep quality. A noisy environment in daylight, such as at work or busy roads, disrupts sleep at night and raises blood pressure. And finally, these are our precious screens. How many people do you know who take a smartphone in bed or watch TV in bed? Sleeping problems reduce our quality of life. our physical and intellectual performance declines, and we are at higher risk for depression. The first 3 hours of our sleep are good for our deep sleep. The growth hormone is produced in our bodies that plays a role in muscle growth and fat burning, and that helps children grow. So we grow while we sleep. In addition, we store memories at night. A good night's sleep is, therefore, very important for students. In adults, sleeping problems increase the risk of obesity and diabetes. Waking up at night is stressful because the production of stress hormones increases. As a result, the risk of high blood pressure increases too and can lead to infection of stroke. Recent research suggests that our immune system is disrupted during poor sleep. This can lead to an increased risk of diabetes and colon cancer. So, we have to take sleeping problems seriously, just like the most obvious solution, sleeping pills. Most doctors continue to prescribe them. On the other hand, it appears that sleeping pills can decrease sleep quality. In addition, they can affect our cognitive abilities such as memory and abilities to learn new skills. If you take sleeping pills, you will sleep better in the first instance, but that won't last. After 3 weeks, the effect of medication disappears. The patients still feel that they are sleeping better, but they remain tired during the day. They forget that they haven't slept much. Because insomnia doesn't go away quickly, doctors prescribe medication for a longer period of time. But if you take them for more than 3 months, the consequences can be serious. A large study on sleep medications, especially benzodiazepines and so-called Z drugs, Zopiclone, for example, has found that long-term use of these medications increases the risk of death. Why? Because the medication makes snoring and sleep apnea worse. People with sleep apnea occasionally stop breathing during sleep. As a result, there is an oxygen deficiency. People can become sleepy during the day at increased risk of depression, Alzheimer's, stroke, and death. The amount of people using sleep medication is scary and huge. I am not saying that sleeping pills should never be used. Some patients have no other choice. But I want to make you aware of costs and benefits. While sleep medications are typically used for a short period, many people use these drugs chronically. There are many other ways to deal with sleeping problems that are worth trying. The first thing you can do if you have sleeping problems is to get up at a fixed time, including weekends. And the best is 15 minutes to half an hour earlier than usual. Even after a party, no exceptions. The beneficial effect of radiant light upon awakening has been generally confirmed. It doesn't matter if it's sunlight or a specially designed lamp. Such lamps exist in several forms, and there are also inexpensive variants. This early light has a stabilizing effect on the biological clock. And if you would do some physical exercises and grab a good healthy breakfast, it would be perfect. A power nap during the day can help too, as long as it doesn't last more than 20 minutes. Going to bed at the set time at night is very important. Recovering sleep occurs in the first 3 hours of the night. if you used to go to bed at 10 o'clock in the evening and you stayed up until 1:30, you lose 2.5 hours of those precious 3 hours. Furthermore, your environment must be suitable for sleeping. Silent, dark, no horror movies, no computer games or conflicts. Discard the sources of blue or white light that block the secretion of melatonin. So, no computer, smartphone or tablet for sleeping. When a bedroom is a place that offers peace and security, our nervous system relaxes more easily. Use curtains, for example, to dim excessive street lighting. An evening ritual can also help you fall asleep more easily. Try to avoid doing other things in bed besides sleeping or having sex. Eating, drinking, watching TV, walking, knitting may seem harmless, but they can disrupt sleep. If a certain place is associated with sleep, it's enough to go into that place to prepare the brain for sleep. You don't have to burn all pills. Some substances help to fall asleep. Valerian, for example. The effect has been scientifically proven. Scientists suggest that valerian improves sleep quality without side effects. You can also think of linden blossom, passion flower or chamomile. These are not miracle cures, but they are worth a try. Melatonin exists in the form of dietary supplement. It works in about 60% of cases. It has few side effects, no withdrawal symptoms, and no relapse after discontinuation. Appropriate treatments exist for many sleep disorders. Cognitive behavior therapy can help. It allows one to let go of wrong beliefs. For example, I absolutely have to sleep to be in shape tomorrow. That's a vicious circle of insomnia. In addition, it's useful to learn relaxation, meditation, and breathing techniques. Another effective method is hypnosis. This is partly because the hypnotic state is a transitional state between wake up and sleep. High-tech methods have been popping up for a few years now, such as, for example, a headset with glasses where you see red light and hear relaxing sounds. Very interesting. But this is a topic for another video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell before you go. Thank you for staying with me. See you next time.